Welcome back to Flock of Figures, where today I'm going to be doing another WWF Hasbro figure unboxing video, and in this one I'm going to be completing Series 9, the Purple Card Series.
9 times. 9 times.
Series 9 follows the same format that Series 6, 7 and 8 followed, which was just having 6 different wrestlers. So 6 guys, and see, I've talked about it before in previous videos, but Series 6 was, even though it was the last of the sort of two-tone cards, the red and blue cards, it was essentially the first of that kind of uniformed approach to every series, which stuck from Series 6 onto the yellow cards in Series 7, onto the red cards in Series 8, and then the purple cards in Series 9. That kind of went out the window in Series 10 because they had, not only did they have the bushwhackers and the head shrinkers messing up the numbers, but they also had the re-releases of Shawn Michaels and Razor, which, you know, if you believe whichever story you hear, there was reasons behind that. Like there's talk about whether or not that was mail-aways that never came to pass or whatever. But anyway, so it looked like this is what they were doing. It looked like they were trying to stick to 6 wrestlers for every series and changing the card colour every series. But this is the last time that they actually stuck to that before kind of thrown out the window with Series 10 the blue cards, and then even Series 11 the green cards. They had 7 guys in that lineup rather than 6. So who knows what the logic was? But yeah, there is only 6 in Series 9, the purples. There is only 6. So obviously I've got 4 of them on the table. The Steiners, the 3rd incarnation of Ted DiBiase, the only incarnation of Ted DiBiase that doesn't have his entrance gear on, and also the only one that doesn't come with a $1 million belt. So a fairly unique Ted DiBiase, but in complete contrast, that a complete re-release, just nothing changed, a reissue of the Tanker, thought to be because there was going to be a Brutus Beefcake in his Mega Maniacs gear, that never came to pass, whether he left the company or there was image rights issues. I'm not entirely sure, but it didn't. There's prototypes of it out there. You can see the stock images of it, but it never made it to retail, and the Tanker was chucked in as a re-release to replace him. So there are 2 other figures to get in this lineup, and I have them both. So we're going to unbox them today and add them to the collection. This has been a slog. They're 2 relatively tricky guys to get. So if you know the Hasbro line, you'll know who's coming. But the first one I have is one of my favourites from this kind of time period. Is this guy here? This is Doink the Clown. So funny story with Doink. Like, he was really difficult to get. I've had this one for about 6 months. I've literally about 6 months I've had this one, and I've been waiting to get the other guy I need to do the video. But when I bought Doink, I got him on eBay, and I paid I think it was about 60 quid I paid for him. I mean, it's not a great condition card. It's all kind of curved and what have you, but it's not terrible. But I paid about 60 quid because I thought, you know, the price was just going up, and I'm not going to get it much cheaper than that. If I want to buy him, I'm going to have to buy him. And I felt at the time like I wasn't sure if I was doing the right, like me spending 60 quid to open up a figure. I thought, this is madness. But now 6 months on, I would not get him for that price in any condition. I mean, this is at the very least £100 figure now. Even the ones that are on banged up cards, beat up cards that aren't looking anything like they would want to be graded or anything like that, they are going for 3 figures, for 3 digits, and it's getting scary, man. It's getting pretty scary how much these things are worth, or how much they're perceived to be worth, is maybe a better way to put it, because you know it's getting to a level where personally I won't be paying the prices that some people are asking, and I think a few people in the collecting community are kind of starting to think the same way, that the prices are just getting out of control. But anyway, so picked up Doink about 6 months ago for a price at the time I thought was probably on the high side, but now, just in the short span of 6 months, looks like I got an absolute steal. So yeah, I probably, you know, based on that logic, I probably could resell them and make a double my money at least, but then I would have literally no chance of getting him off card in my Mintless collection. So he's going to be breathing today. Here comes Doink. Alright, Doink's an interesting one because I don't think I had Doink growing up. I don't think I had Doink. So I don't think I've ever experienced his green hair before. I don't know if I've ever touched it or sort of saw what it feels like, but it's bizarre, man. That is weird. Doink's hair. I mean, it's a very, very unique feature within the Hasbro line. He's the only guy that has, I don't know what you would call it, like, is it a soft good accessory? It's not really a soft good accessory since it's attached to him. It's part of his gimmick, part of his shtick, but it's it is weird, unique, and certainly makes the figure unique. It makes him sort of stand out. In the package, it looks like it's all sort of, it looks like it's a lot shorter than that. It's obviously very curly, his hair, but it's kind of like squashed up in the package, and it looks quite tight in his head. But when you pad it out like that, it does actually look pretty cool. I think that looks more or less what Doink looked like. I've seen some used Doink figures where the hair's been cut and everything. It just looks horrific. It looks such a shame. But man, this is a cool fig. I really like this fig actually. As I say, I don't think I ever had it growing up. I don't even recall like any friends or cousins having it. Although I was talking recently to someone else about this, and I don't remember many of this stage of the Hasbro line. I don't remember many of them. I think Series 8, the red card, was kind of the last series I remember being released. I remember Yoko and Bam Bam, but I think after that, I don't know if distribution changed or was reduced in the UK, but I don't remember seeing many of these guys. But this is a figure I would have wanted to have, I'm sure, back in the day, and I'm absolutely delighted to have him. Now that is, I mean, what is there to say about that? Look at the detail on his outfit, on his face paint. That is a scary amount of detail for this line anyway. I mean, in today's market, when you've got NECA and Super 7, putting details that you don't even notice into their figures, it's not much. But for this time period, where figures were relatively basic, that is fantastic. That face paint, even just the detail on his outfit, I think is pretty sweet. That is a cool fig, man. I'm really happy with that. He has a little bit, you see that the dot, like there's supposed to be a button on his tights. Looks like there's a little bit of, I don't know if it's paint smudge or paint chip, so that's disappointing. That's the type of thing that, you probably wouldn't notice, but because I know it's there, it'll bug me. But generally speaking, it's a pretty minty looking Doink. Yeah, got to be happy with that. Got to be happy with that. Actually delighted with that. So glad to have him for the first time ever. I've had him mint on card before, and I've like swapped him and sold him and stuff, but that's the first time I've had a loose Doink out of the package, and he's awesome, man. I really like him. And he actually plays into the story for the next guy because, as I said, the price of Doink is shot up, and the next guy I need, and the only one left in Series 9 to open, probably I don't know if it's rarest or hardest to find, but certainly the most expensive, is Hacksaw Jim Duggan. So this is the second edition Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the USA Hacksaw Jim Duggan. This is known as, because he comes with the stars and stripes on the back of his vest and on his knee pads, and he comes with the Star Spangled Banner flag as well, which is quite a hard accessory to get your hands on these days. And a lot of the ones out in the marketplace are reproduction fakes, and it causes issues. But yeah, this is an expensive figure, and I don't know why. Because, I mean, it's obviously just a repaint of the first Hacksaw, and is that a good figure? I don't know that it is. Hacksaw isn't really that good a figure. I always, when they use this body part, because they use it for the Berserker as well, obviously, because it's got the 2x4 hand for holding the 2x4 from the first Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I mean, that's fine for the first Hacksaw Jim Duggan because he comes with the 2x4, but this one doesn't. So that hand for me just sticks out like a sore thumb. I said that when I opened up the Berserker figure as well. Just having that hand almost sort of ruins it for me if you don't have the accessory that goes in it. But yeah, this is the one in this series that is hardest to come by. It's the one that's the hardest to find. It's the one that goes for the biggest money. And I don't know why. I don't know. It's strange. Some of the figures in each series, it's not the one you'd expect. That is a difficult one. It's a hard one. I mean, in this series, Tatanka and Scott are probably the most common, the easiest to get hands on. Rick's a difficult one to get, which is strange considering they're part of a tag team. Like, Scott's quite common, Rick not so much. And then Ted Dibiase, he's becoming more and more rare. He's becoming more difficult to get. But this guy's always been the top dog in this series. and it doesn't make a great deal of sense to me, but it is what it is. So anyway, the story was, this one goes for crazy money, goes for silly money, into the three figures, and I'd almost given up on getting one. And then in one of the groups, on the Facebook group, someone had this figure and said they were looking for a swap. Obviously, it's not in a great condition card, but it does have value because it's a high-end figure. It's a desirable figure. It's a figure that goes for big money. So they're basically saying, does anyone want to swap this to open it up and have a mint loose for anything that's kind of in decent shape? And at that point, I had another doink. I had a doink that had won in a raffle that was probably in better condition than the one I've just opened up just now. But it wasn't in great shape. I don't think it was. Certainly wasn't gradable. But it was a flat card, and it was, bubble was intact and stuff like that. So I got in touch with Anthony Kelly was that offered this up in the group, and I said, look, I've got a doink here if you want it. I'll do you a straight swap. He didn't have doink, so we done a swap, and I managed to get the Hacksaw, the one I need, to open up for essentially nothing, because I say I won that doink as a raffle prize, and I've managed to avoid having to spend, because even in this type of condition, I can't see many people taking making a good deal on this. I can't see somebody saying, do you want this for 50 quid or something, because it still does hold value as being the kind of most expensive one, the most desirable one in Series 9. So other than how I got it, like through a swap deal, I don't think I would have got one for a reasonable price. I think it probably would have still been close to 100 at the very least, even in this kind of condition, to get a Hacksaw. So really happy the way I got him. Really glad that I managed to get him, and obviously delighted to now be completing Series 9. Card is actually starting to come away a wee bit, so this should hopefully make it easier. It comes. Trying not to damage the ball on the card any further, because I am still trying to save it up for Kale, even though she was expecting a package like 2 months ago or something. But you are getting them eventually, mate, don't worry. Right, so even after having said everything I've just said about Hacksaw, that figure is mint, and that is a really nice figure. One of the things about them I've noticed more and more when you open up, they look okay in the package, but then when you open them up, you can see maybe a little bit of sun fading or something. It's not quite the skin tone you thought it was. That one is almost perfect. Just the way it looks, it just looks like it was just made last week in the factory. That is a mint looking Jim Duggan, USA Jim Duggan. And one of the things Ant said to me when I swapped him was, he said, are you going to grade it? Are you going to send it off for loose grading? And I didn't intend to, but I just wanted to have him mint loose in the collection. But he is in really nice shape, actually. He might be a grading candidate, a loose grading candidate, obviously, now that I've ripped him off the card. But yeah, there's not really much to say about him. He is essentially just the same Hacksaw Jim Duggan figure, same moveset and everything, same mould with a repaint. His hair's a different colour. He's now wearing a vest. Actually, having said that, no, it's not, is he? Because that isn't just a painted on vest, that is a moulded on vest. Yeah, I didn't actually realise that before. It's not just a repaint of his body, because Hacksaw has that really kind of silly looking hairy chest, the first Hacksaw, where it's like the hairs are sort of moulded onto his chest, but this is a vest that's been moulded on. I just always thought that was painted over, but no. It is. See, it's interesting when you actually hold these guys in your hands and have a good look at them. You notice things like that. But yeah, so that, I stand corrected, that is a new body, a new torso. But I think it's the same legs, same head, same arms. Certainly they've got the 2x4 bit in the hand, so it is the same. It's the same move, same action move that he has. Actually, again, I'm going to correct myself again, because the hand of the first Hacksaw doesn't have that little hole in it. So this obviously, I think it's the same mould, but it looks like they've drilled a hole now for that flag to fit. Yeah, I do have Hacksaw, but he's still on card because I don't have anyone else from Series 2 to open up with him. It's just the big hitters I need from Series 2 now, so I don't want to make a video of just the first Hacksaw himself. But until I get a Dusty Rhodes or a Zebra Plants Brutus, I won't be able to make a video, so that's not happening anytime soon. But anyway, yeah, so decent figure. Probably an improvement, actually. I've always looked at him in the packet and thought, the first Hacksaw was better, but looking at it now, out of the packet, it might actually be a better figure, because one of the things that really bugs me about the first one is the moulded on chest here, and because that's gone now, that might be enough to sway it for me, just looking at it now. Obviously, the first Hacksaw is exactly how he looks in his ring attire, just wearing the blue trunks, the boots, and he's got it comes with a 2x4, so it was just like Hacksaw as you remember him. I mean, I have vague memories of him having this sort of USA gimmick. Obviously, USA was always the thing that he chanted and that, but I have vague memories of him being dressed like this, the stars and stripes on him. But most of my memories of Hacksaw are just with the plain blue trunks. Well, I think his boots are the wrong colour in the first figure as well. I think he's wearing black boots, whereas he wore blue boots in real life. But yeah, it might actually be a slight upgrade, a slight improvement from that first figure, which kind of changes. Oh, don't fall over, Rick. Don't fall over. Oh, Rick Steiner was going to take a header there. It might actually change my opinion on that now that I've seen him, because I always looked at him and thought, almost like a waste of time re-releasing Hacksaw like that, because I thought the first one was almost a nailed-on Hacksaw. Why do you need a second one? But looking at it now, it might be a better thing, just a slight improvement. Let's be honest, neither of the two of them are going to be my favourite in the whole line or anything like that. But cool to have him anyway. And like I say, he is rare. He is hard to find. He is desirable. So having him in that kind of condition is good as well. So happy with that. Yeah, so that's series 9 complete. I mean, I've got to be honest, Doink by far and away is the superstar of this series. I mean, obviously at the time you might have had your favourites, you might have wanted a Steiner Brothers tag team for your Fig Fed or something. Doink never being like a headliner, maybe wouldn't have been that desirable a figure to have, but I think he would have been popular. I mean, I remember being into Doink, being into his gimmick, so I'm kind of, I think I would be swaying towards he would have been a figure I would have went for back in childhood, and certainly now as a collector, Doink is the one that stands out, is the one you would want. Having a nice, fresh, minty looking Doink on your shelf, that would have, if you could pick one, that would have to be the one. But anyway, so series 9 now complete. Now got to go on to the big hitters. I mean, I'm getting to the stage where, as I say, the prices are going up for all these figures, but the ones that I need are like ridiculous prices. I've already mentioned Dusty and Zebra Pants Brutus. I need a couple of others that are silly money, like most of the green cards. And then again, a couple that I mentioned earlier on in the video, the variants of Sean and Razor from the blue card series as well. They're going to cause me some grief to get my hands on. In fact, we're now into the territory where even if I did get these guys, I don't know if I could justify opening them. But anyway, we'll cross those bridges when we come to them. So that's it for this video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Stay safe. We'll speak soon.